I think having a lot of my habits already formed, I've not, quote, given in or accepted a lot of technology, basically because it doesn't fulfill my purposes.
It's the connection that is so crucial.
But what about all the people that are right there that they're meeting new that could enrich their lives and they enrich their lives?
You know, I've grown with the changes in technology.
I wish that more of the elder residents at St. John's would give it a try.
If you could describe technology's impact on your life in one word, what would it be?
Intrusive.
Antisocial. Overwhelming. Powerful.
Speed.
Awful.
Complicated.
Communications.
Communication is so very important. The phone has always been my best friend. I had regular routines that I would call people, and so we could always chat. I'd get on the phone and I would talk to my niece and nephew or my godchildren as if I was sitting in their living room.
The computer is new for me, and I love my cell phone.
Most of the remote communications occur through the telephone. And now, with technology, you've got the iPhone, you've got video conferencing, and you have Facebook. With all the social media, there is a new means of communication that really did not exist before.
I think in terms of communication, the telephone, computer, and the television, this is the modus operandi of being in touch.
Well, I'm pretty much committed to the computer, which I see as a glorified typewriter. And almost all my communications with, say, family and others is email. I've not done Twitter, I've not done Facebook. Since I've seen some of the problems that have come with Facebook and Twitter, I don't communicate in that way.
Technology impacts nearly every aspect of our lives in today's society. The need to maintain and establish connections with others and the ability to relay information easily and accurately are perhaps what has driven communication technology forward. The sounds of communication drums and horns in 3000 BC transformed, and by 2400 BC, couriers were carrying heavy stone tablets from one location to another. The invention of paper in 100 AD certainly eased the weight on the shoulders of these early letter carriers. Flash forward to the early 1800s AD. It is here where we really see communication technology blossom. Communication became easier with the invention of the telegraph, the typewriter, and the first telephone. We sure have come a long way from beating upon animal skins. Communication technology in 2018 allows individuals to stay close to those who live far away and even reach millions of people with the touch of a send button in the many social media apps.
I grew up with the main communication, if you weren't in a conversation, was letter writing. I'm very much still a letter writer.
We send a Christmas letter to like 150 people still that are friends from eight different cities, 2 cities in England, and we have friends in Germany, and we have the last 3 years of our ministry was in Italy, and they call or they write. So we have lots of people to write. We write to friends in Switzerland. We're very busy contacting people overseas.
Between Sally's mother and my mother, they saved 24 years of letters from India. And they're my nighttime reading, and I live with a lot of rich memories. The letters just bring back memories that you never would have recorded.
Your cell phone, do you carry it with you all the time?
No. My kids wish I did. I'm afraid of losing it.
I would say the biggest change has been that I carry an iPhone with me wherever I go. Text message or email, okay, or even regular phone conversations. It's all accessible through one small thing that you can put in your pocket.
Oh, it's enabled us to keep in touch with people around the world, literally. One of the students that we hosted was from Hong Kong. We wouldn't be able to keep in touch with these people. So it's a wonderful tool. We've really benefited from that.
I have an old-fashioned cell phone, and I do everything on it. Business, family, setting up appointments. I don't text or any of that other stuff, never have.
Well, our daughter in Atlanta calls when she's going to work. Our daughter here calls every day, sometimes twice a day. Our grandchildren call when they're out jogging.
In my day, it was not a compliment to say that someone is all thumbs. And I'm absolutely amazing at what people can do with their cell phones. But that's not Ken Dodson. I don't do that.
I can remember my parents had a party line, 2 people, so you had to wait your turn. We've come a long way.
I'm not technically savvy in a lot of other things.
I don't want to be on Facebook. It's such a cheap form of connecting.
I get a lot of emails saying that so-and-so is on Facebook, and I ignore it.
My husband was afraid that people would get involved in knowing everything. He's been asked by our foreign students in other countries, please get on Facebook, and we say no.
But certainly today, it's much more easier to keep in touch with the grandchildren because your children will always have photos of the latest activities of the grandchildren on Facebook. You can make comments, and effectively you can communicate with them without their having to make an extra effort to communicate with you.
If I fault, in a sense, Twitter or Facebook, they're not things that get saved. And I think people are going to lose a lot of memories.
My friend Lee, he does FaceTime with all of his great-grandchildren and stuff. I don't even know how to do it. I don't find that necessary.
For me, I have been extremely careful what I put on Facebook because it's a public forum. And also very careful who and what type of information you respond to.
I don't Twitter or any of that stuff. I don't ever put any of my information on the computer. My name, address, phone number. I don't have to in any way compromise my own personal identity.
I want to say what I want to say properly and correctly, and that's not always easy. So to try to condense what you want to say in a short time, in a short amount of space, at the same time be able to communicate your thoughts is a challenge.
Okay, are you ready to talk about Trump?
Oh, no.
That is an extremely interesting question, actually.
Well, it's obvious that the president realized that he could reach a much larger group. To me, the difficulty is you can say anything on social media that you want to say, and if enough people believe it's the truth, it doesn't matter whether it's truth or not.
President Trump apparently has a lot on his mind, at least according to his Twitter account.
The president has taken full advantage of the social media. What I think it lacks is what we've had in the past were, quote, great statesmen, in which things that were said years later are still quoted. And I don't know as though in the current atmosphere with social media, whether anybody's going to remember what was being said.
We have cheapened communication, but it's not only in this generation, but communication is an art, not only to speak, but to listen carefully. And I'm afraid we're missing many opportunities in that. But we have for a long time. It's not just our current president.
I feel sad for him when he has to get up at 6 or 5 in the morning to use Twitter. He must be very tortured. I feel sad for us too, but I feel sad for him over technology. It's Twitter. Sad.
I personally don't listen to his stuff. There are times when I wish I'd like to zip his mouth.
Well, I think it's unfortunate. In a day and age where we're just fraught with tension and danger, it's unbecoming a person who has as much authority and impact on world events to employ something as flippantly as a tweet.
From his point of view, he gets his thoughts directly to the public without being filtered by newspapers and journalists.
The newspaper people, they do fact-checking, which is very good, but I think a lot of people do not do fact-checking.
On the other hand, if he puts out a thought without carefully evaluating what the hidden meanings might be, then that would be a disadvantage. Because usually the comments of the President of the United States are well filtered by the time we get to hear them. Mm-hmm. This is not the case, and we have to live with it.
It's not a bad thing to rely on the new technology, because I think there's technology that just wasn't available. CAT scans, MRI scans. In the ancient days when I studied, they weren't even in existence.
Revolutionary.
Fascinating.
Resourceful.
Life-saving.
We've developed technology that can ascertain what a problem is and where it is.
He'll work with the computer and then he'll turn it so I can see what he's talking about.
The doctor-patient relationship is part of the healing, the curative.
I think the complaint that patients and doctors have is they don't have enough time.
The patient-doctor relationship was compromised because of the limitations of time.
I hate to tell you how many nurses that were good long-term nurses left the profession because of the intrusiveness of the computer.
High technology that makes possible so much.
My chair is obviously my best friend. I can do most anything that I really set my mind to doing. Since I have been handicapped, I wear one of these things, and it works here. It brings security no matter where you are. And I wear this at all times.
And technology sees and does things that you could not do, so that I think there's a real place for technology. I don't know whether any of us can really foresee the future, but I think there's no question there will be new technologies and beyond what we do today.
But there are some exciting things, of course, that are going on that we couldn't imagine.
One of the things that's going to change is how we communicate with each other. And there are ways and means of communications that may not even exist today.
I think if we keep talking at the dinner table, holding a phone in front of our face, so we don't talk to one another, it's sad because no one's going to know each other. And communication is making a C with both your hands, and you must go both directions for communication. But with technology, it's only going in. It's not coming out to others.
I'm really worried about what's going to happen. We've invented all this stuff, but we haven't thought about what happens down the road. Everything you do has a consequence, and it can be positive, it can be negative, and it can be anywhere in the gray area between. So that concerns me.
It can be for great good, like astronomy. I've studied all about astronomy. They show on television how we're finding the new planets, and I think it's wonderful.
Technology is only a tool, but it can be used productively or seductively or destructively. It comes back to what is the intention of the operator. So that remains unsettled. But we have the potential for doing so many good things.
But the technology will be there. It's a question of which technologies are the people adopt.
There will be more technology, more advanced technology, and probably a whole new set of problems that we have no way of foreseeing.
Bye.